The story opens on a gray Atlanta morning. Drizzle tapping against Malik Carter's penthouse windows. He's dressed in a crisp white dress shirt. Collar open, eyes distant as the skyline bleeds silver light. The letter lies on his coffee table, an ivory envelope sealed with gold. It's from her. Imani Rhodes. The name alone stops his breath. He hasn't spoken her name in 2 years, not since the night he walked out of her apartment and into silence. He reads the words again. You're invited to celebrate our union, Imani and Tobias. He exhales, bitter and hollow, staring at the date. Tomorrow. Malik sits back, gripping the edge of the couch as the room feels smaller. A laugh escapes him, quiet, broken. She really did it, he whispers. The rain thickens. His sister Nia bursts in with grocery bags, takes one look at the invitation and freezes. Malik, you ain't thinking about going, are you? He looks up, eyes dark with something unreadable. I ain't sure yet. The sound of rain drowns them both, but the air is already heavy with memory. That night, Malik sits alone on his balcony, the city humming beneath him. Cigarette smoke curls into the drizzle, his mind replaying the sound of Imani's laugh. He remembers designing that ring for her years ago, the one with the twin gold bands and diamond bridge. It was supposed to symbolize connection. He wonders if Tobias even knows what it means. Morning sunlight pierces through blinds. Malik dresses in a tailored charcoal suit, adjusting his tie with precision. Nia watches from the doorway, arms folded. You really going? She asks softly. Malik meets her eyes in the mirror. Sometimes you gotta see what you lost, to know what you still got left. The car rolls through Midtown. Malik drives in silence, city blurring by in reflections. Murals, church signs, glass towers. Gospel plays low from the radio. The closer he gets to the church, the tighter his grip on the steering wheel. He parks outside the church, a grand old brick cathedral, trimmed in white roses and champagne ribbons. Guests pour in laughing, unaware. Malik steps out, raincoat tight, eyes fixed on the double doors. As he enters, the music swells. The world slows. Then he sees her. Imani, radiant in lace and pearls, standing beside Tobias, and on her hand, that ring. His ring. Malik freezes mid-step, air gone from his lungs. The sound of church bells fades into memory, a flicker of sunlight over Imani's laughter 2 years earlier. Malik's mind drifts to the first time he saw her, back when both were hustling dreams at a downtown art showcase. She wore a red silk dress and confidence like a crown. He'd been there pitching real estate concepts. She was painting futures in color. They collided when his elbow brushed her canvas, streaking her sky blue with gray. Guess you like leaving your mark early, she teased. That was how it started, an accident and spark. Their connection grew fast. Late nights painting walls in his half-renovated apartment, coffee gone cold, music low. She'd challenge him. You always talking about building things, Malik, but what are you building for? He never answered then. Instead, he'd pull her close, paint-stained fingers against her skin. They built something no blueprint could hold. But love that burns fast burns hard. Arguments came between laughter. About ambition, about time, about who gave more. She wanted him to slow down. He wanted her to believe in the future he could almost touch. One night, storm outside, they stood in the kitchen shouting, You ain't hearing me, Malik. I need more than promises. He slammed the counter. I'm trying, Imani. Ain't that enough? The thunder answered for them. Weeks later, she found the small velvet box he'd hidden in the drawer. The ring. Twin gold bands, diamond bridge, initials engraved underneath. He planned to propose on her birthday, but by then she was already drifting, filling silence with uncertainty. The box stayed closed. When she left, she didn't slam the door, just wrote a note. "You're everything, but not right now." Malik read it until the ink blurred. That night, he took the ring, wrapped it in tissue, and locked it away. Now, standing in that church, he realizes she never forgot. She kept the ring, or maybe someone else gave it to her. The church hums with quiet chatter and perfume. White roses line the pews, satin ribbons shimmer beneath soft chandeliers. Malik sits 3 rows from the back, watching from the shadows as the ceremony begins. The pastor's voice is deep, measured, every word echoing through vaulted arches. Imani glows at the altar, every inch the picture of perfection. Tobias stands beside her, hand firm on hers, eyes forward. But Malik sees it, the subtle twitch of her fingers, the quick swallow before she says her vows. The words sound rehearsed, not real. His heart pounds with every phrase. To love and to honor. He grips the edge of the pew, knuckles white. The pastor continues, but Malik can't hear anymore. His vision narrows to Imina's hand, the ring gleaming like a ghost from his past. That exact diamond bridge, that engraved band. His initials are still there. He's sure of it. He closes his eyes. Flashbacks flicker. Her laughter, her tears, the night he almost proposed. Then Nea's voice breaks his spiral, whispering from beside him. "Malik, breathe. Don't do nothing stupid." But he can't move. He's suspended between memory and madness. As vows end, the pastor asks if anyone objects. A murmur rolls through the room, the most dangerous silence of all. Malik's fingers twitch. His throat burns with unspoken words. But then, across the distance, Imani looks at him. A look sharp enough to slice through every ghost between them. Her eyes plead. "Don't." Malik swallows, lowers his gaze. The world moves again. Applause fills the church as the couple kisses. Cameras flash. Malik stands, shoulders heavy, pretending composure. Nia whispers, "Let's go." But his legs don't obey. He watches Imani smile for the world. Perfect, poised, practiced, and wonders how something so beautiful could hurt this deep. Outside, sunlight breaks through clouds. Bells ring as newlyweds emerge to cheers. Malik steps into the courtyard's edge, just beyond the crowd. Imani's laughter fills the air again, too familiar. For 1 second, she turns. Their eyes meet across the chaos. Her smile falters. The world around them slows. Malik tilts his head slightly, a silent question in his gaze. She looks down at her hand, at the ring, then back up, guilt written across her face. The truth lives between them, unspoken and alive. The reception is a blur of champagne and small talk. Jazz hums under chandelier light, and Imani glides through the room like a dream she doesn't belong in. Malik stands by the bar, his tie loose, watching her. Every smile she gives Tobias feels forced, every glance in Malik's direction too long. Finally, she excuses herself, walking toward the terrace. Malik follows, footsteps silent, heart heavy. Outside, the city glows beneath them. Night rising over Atlanta like confession itself. On the terrace, cool wind carries the faint sound of laughter from inside. Imani leans on the railing, eyes closed, shoulders trembling. Malik steps up beside her, quiet. "You wore it," he says softly. Her eyes open, wet and shining. "You gave it to me," she answers. "I never said you could give it away." he murmurs. The silence between them feels alive, thick with everything unsaid. She looks down at the ring. It's the only part of you I could keep without breaking. Imani turns to him, voice breaking. You disappeared, Malik. I waited. Months. You said you'd call, and you didn't. His jaw tightens. You left before I could. Her tears fall fast. You think I wanted to? You made me believe in something you weren't ready to fight for. He exhales sharply, stepping closer. And now you married a man wearing my promise. She flinches, eyes searching his face for mercy that isn't there. Suddenly, the terrace door opens. Tobias steps out, champagne in hand, smile fading as he takes in the scene. Everything all right here? He asks, voice sharp. Imani freezes. Malik turns slowly, his face calm but dangerous. Just talking, Malik says, eyes never leaving Imani. Tobias steps closer, jaw tightening. You her friend, right? Then be one and know when to leave. Imani's voice trembles. Toby, please. The air crackles with tension. Tobias sets his glass down, stepping forward. You think you can just show up at my wedding, man? Malik stares back, voice steady. Didn't plan on staying long. Tobias glances at Imani, then the ring. Realization dawning. That ring, he begins, but she cuts him off. Toby, don't. Her voice cracks. Malik takes a step back, hands raised, but the truth has already detonated. Tobias' voice lowers to a whisper, dangerous and quiet. Whose ring is that, Imani? The silence that follows could shatter glass. The air on the terrace thickens, heavy as the storm clouds rolling over the Atlanta skyline. The reception music still floats faintly from inside, the laughter of guests unaware of the chaos brewing just beyond the glass doors. Tobias' hand clenches around the champagne flute until it trembles. Imani stands between the two men, her past and her present colliding under flickering city light. Malik's chest rises and falls like he's trying to breathe underwater. You gonna answer him? Tobias says, voice low, slicing the quiet. Imani's lips part, but no sound comes out. Malik shifts his weight, trying to speak. But the moment moves faster than reason. Tobias' gaze drops to the ring glinting on her finger. That intricate twin-band gold, glimmer that doesn't belong in this story. Not anymore. That's his, ain't it? He growls, nodding toward Malik. Imani flinches, tears filling her eyes, her silence saying everything. The city below hums with indifference, its lights a blurred constellation of witnesses. Malik takes one careful step forward, tone calm but voice cracking. Tobias, this ain't the place. Tobias laughs, a hollow, humorless sound that echoes off the marble. Nah, man, looks like it's exactly the place. Imani finally speaks, whispering, Please, both of you, stop. But nobody moves. The moment is a fuse, burning slow and hot. Inside, the music fades as whispers ripple across the room. Guests turn toward the terrace windows, drawn by the sharp motion of Tobias' gestures and Imani's trembling hands. Nia, standing by the dessert table, feels her stomach drop. She knows her brother's stance, that still, dangerous calm that means he's about to break something, or himself. She moves fast, weaving through curious onlookers, heels clicking against marble. Malik, she calls, voice low but urgent. Tobias turns at the sound, his eyes wild. Who the hell are you? Nia ignores him, grabs Malik's arm. This ain't it, bro. You don't win this way. Malik looks at her, eyes glassy, jaw tight. He took everything, he whispers. No, Malik. Nia fires back. You gave it away. Imani watches them, her heart breaking at how right and wrong they both are. The rain starts again, soft at first, then steady. Guests murmur, Phones raised, the scandal blooming like wildfire. The pastor steps forward from the doorway, his deep voice cutting through the tension. "Son, don't let the devil dance on your peace." Tobias laughs bitterly. "Too late for peace, Pastor." The thunder rolls above them like an amen. Thunder cracks overhead as if the heavens themselves can't stand to watch. Tobias lunges forward, his voice breaking into a roar. "You think you can walk in here and play ghost with my wife?" Malik steps back, palms raised but eyes locked. "You ain't gotta make this uglier than it already is." Tobias shoves him hard. The impact rattles glass. A collective gasp ripples through the crowd pressing against the window. Imani screams, "Stop it!" She grabs Tobias's arm, trying to pull him back, but he shakes her off, face red with rage and betrayal. Malik's temper finally flickers. "You want the truth," he shouts. "That ring, I made it for her. I designed it for the day I was supposed to ask." The words hang in the air, slicing through everything. Tobias freezes, the fury draining into disbelief. "You what?" he mutters. Imani sobs openly now, collapsing against the railing. The wind picks up, her veil whipping like a flag of surrender. "I didn't mean for you to find out like this," she whispers. Malik closes his eyes, regret washing through him like rain down glass. "Neither did I." Security rushes toward the terrace, but Pastor Darnell reaches first, his deep voice booming with weary authority. "Enough," he commands. The storm pauses, as if even nature listens. Tobias stands trembling, chest heaving, face drenched in rain and heartbreak. Imani crumbles onto the floor, her gown soaked, makeup running down her cheeks like surrender. Malik backs away, eyes burning, every heartbeat a drum of guilt. "I'm done," he mutters. "I ain't here to fight for something that's already gone." Tobias takes a step forward, voice low and broken. "You think she still wants you after this?" Malik shakes his head slowly. "It don't even matter what she wants. This was never about her. It was about me learning to let her go." He turns, rain dripping from his jawline, and walks past the crowd that parts like a confession. Imani's sobs echo through the silence he leaves behind. The music has stopped. The guests have retreated into hushed corners, whispers trailing behind Malik's exit. Outside, the rain slows to a drizzle. Imani sits alone on the terrace steps, her dress heavy, her heart heavier. Tobias stands inside by the window, watching her through the glass, eyes vacant, spirit hollow. He touches the window once, as if to reach her, but drops his hand. Pastor Darnell approaches, placing a quiet hand on Tobias' shoulder. "Son, forgiveness don't come easy. But neither does truth." Tobias doesn't answer. His reflection stares back at him, a man who gained everything and lost the one thing that made it real. Imani removes the ring, turning it over in her palm. The engraving glints faintly under terrace lights. "Imani!" Her breath catches. She closes her fingers, stands, and walks toward the door. Her voice trembles as she whispers to herself, "No matter how far you run, the past always finds a seat." Behind her, the city hums again, indifferent, alive, eternal. Atlanta wakes slowly the next morning. Quiet, gray, and hungover from rain and rumor. News of the wedding, gone wrong, has already spread through social media like smoke through dry grass. Hashtags, clips, and whispers of the confrontation float across screens, stripped of truth and drenched in speculation. Malik sits alone in a diner on the south side, the kind that still plays old R&B on crackling speakers. He stirs his coffee absently, the ring box open on the counter beside him. The waitress, a middle-aged woman with kind eyes, refills his cup without asking. "You look like somebody just left and took the sun with them," she says softly. Malik offers a half smile. Something like that. Outside, the streets glisten. The kind of wet that makes reflections look truer than the people casting them. He picks up the ring, turning it between his fingers before setting it down for the last time. The bell above the diner door rings as he walks out into the mist, leaving it behind on the counter. A quiet surrender to the past. Back in her apartment, Imani sits before her vanity, still wearing traces of yesterday's makeup. Smudged eyeliner, faded lipstick, pain she can't wash away. Her phone buzzes non-stop. Messages from Tobias, from family, from journalists. She silences it all. The reflection staring back at her feels like someone she doesn't know. Someone who built a life from choices she never wanted to make. On the dresser lies the folded note Malik once wrote her. The one she kept all this time. One day, when we stop running, maybe we'll find our way back. She traces the words with a trembling finger, then folds it neatly and folds it neat. Slides it into the drawer. Her breath steadies. She opens her window, letting in the morning light. For the first time in years, she lets herself cry. Not for Malik, not for Tobias, but for the version of herself she abandoned to make everyone else happy. Tobias stands in his office downtown, skyline behind him, suit impeccable but soul unraveling. He replays last night's chaos in his head. The looks, the words, the ring. His phone vibrates with calls from PR firms and investors. He ignores them all. In the silence, he pours a drink, the amber liquid trembling in his hand. His reflection in the window stares back, cold and tired. He remembers the day he met Imani, the confidence, the laughter that used to fill rooms. He loved her. Truly, but maybe not in the way she needed. Maybe he loved the version of her that made him look whole. He sets the glass down and exhales, whispering to no one. Maybe some things ain't meant to be owned. Outside, thunder rumbles again, though the storm has already passed. That evening, Malik visits Pastor Darnell's small neighborhood church, the same one he used to sneak into as a boy when the world got too loud. The sanctuary is dim, candles flickering along the altar. Pastor Darnell looks up from sweeping the floor, his voice calm but knowing. "Son, you trying to make peace or excuses?" Malik chuckles softly. Maybe both. They sit together on the front pew, silence doing most of the talking. The pastor finally says, "Pain's just proof you cared. But healing, that's proof you grew." Malik nods, staring at the wooden cross ahead. For the first time in years, his chest feels lighter. As he leaves, the pastor calls after him, "Don't waste forgiveness waiting on someone else to give it." Malik smiles faintly. Outside, streetlights blink on, one by one, like small promises lighting his path home. Later that night, Malik drives through the empty streets of Atlanta, windows down, city lights blurring like memories in motion. The rain has stopped, but puddles still mirror the world above. He pulls up to the bridge overlooking the skyline, steps out, and leans against the railing. The wind smells like renewal. Wet asphalt, jasmine, and second chances. He looks out over the city that built him, broke him, and somehow gave him back to himself. Pulling out his phone, he opens a new message to Imani. "I hope you find peace. Not with me, just within you." He doesn't send it. Instead, he locks the screen, pockets the phone, and smiles faintly. The camera pans upward, the skyline gleaming, the night stretching wide, the sound of Malik's steady breathing merging with the city's hum. This isn't an ending. It's the kind of silence that only happens when a storm finally learns to rest. A week later, the city hums with life again. Time has a way of sweeping away even the loudest pain, leaving only echoes. Malik stands on the rooftop of his new construction project, a downtown community complex he's been designing for months, but only now has the heart to finish. The sun climbs slow through layers of haze, painting the skyline in gold and smoke. He wears a simple black t-shirt, and work jeans, sleeves rolled, face clean-shaven, peace quietly returning to his posture. Beside him, Nia leans against a steel beam, sipping from a paper cup. "So, this where you bury in the past?" she teases. Malik smirks. "Nah, this where I build something that can outlive it." The workers move below them, laughter bouncing off the half-finished walls. Malik watches them, eyes steady, purpose rekindled. For the first time since Imani's invitation arrived, his chest doesn't feel hollow. He doesn't need closure anymore. He just needs to move forward. Across town, Imani walks through the quiet halls of a local art center, her heels echoing softly against polished floors. The exhibit she curated, The Weight of Memory, opens tonight. Paintings of storms, silhouettes, and fragile love line the walls. She stops in front of one piece. A gold and silver abstract, two lines intersecting but never merging. The artist's plaque reads simply, "Dedicated to the ones we outgrew, not the ones we lost." Imani smiles, her reflection shimmering against the glass frame. Tobias had moved out 3 days ago, leaving only silence behind. Not out of anger, but exhaustion. She doesn't hate him. She doesn't love him either. For the first time, she loves herself enough to stop performing forgiveness she doesn't feel. The gallery lights warm her face as she whispers, "This is what healing looks like." That night, the city glows electric. Malik drives past the art center on his way home. Through the tall glass front, he glimpses Imani from his car window, poised beneath warm lights, surrounded by laughter. He slows the car, but doesn't stop. Instead, he lets the red light hold him for a few quiet seconds. In those seconds, he studies her, the calm on her face, the life in her gestures. She's free, and that, somehow, is enough. The light turns green. Malik exhales, presses the gas, and the camera follows him as the glow of the art center fades behind him, replaced by the hum of the city moving on. Later, Malik returns to the bridge, the same one he stood on after the wedding, where the city meets the horizon. The wind is softer tonight, almost forgiving. He leans on the railing, eyes tracing the skyline that no longer feels like a cage. His phone buzzes with a message from an unknown number. "It's Imani. Thank you for showing up, even when it hurt." Malik reads it twice, smiles faintly, then deletes it without replying. Not out of coldness, but peace. Some words don't need answers. They just need acknowledgement. The camera pulls back as he lifts his head, wind moving through his short curls, the night stretching endlessly forward. The film closes with montage. Imani's art exhibit in full swing. Guests clapping as she gives a speech. Tobias signing paperwork in his office, quietly removing his wedding ring. Nia laughing at a community event hosted in Malik's new building. And Malik walking through the finished lobby months later. Sunlight pouring across polished concrete floors. Children run past him, laughter filling the space. He pauses, looking up at the massive mural covering one wall, a painting of intertwined gold and silver lines, signed Imani Rhodes. A small smile curves his lips. The story has come full circle, but not as tragedy, as transformation. Malik stands there, hands in pockets, the weight gone. His voice, soft and steady, closes the story. Sometimes love don't end. It just changes shape and teaches you how to live again. Fade to black. The hum of Atlanta lingers, steady and alive.